With the start of 2019, Phoenix TV brings you our second magazine show of the school year. If you're feeling cold, still getting used to school, or both, why not relax with some warm, comforting food? That's what Javen and Richard, two Korean gourmets, did when they stopped by a ramen place in Jeongja. Here's their experience.
Now that looks pretty good.
My memory finally came back.
It's got some garlic and chop it up nicely and firmly. Let's taste the broth first. Hot and spicy while not hurting you. Next to meat, charcoaly and tender, fits perfectly. Gotta add the fat in there. Glaze it over nicely with the broth. Squeeze the noodles. Nice and firm and tender. That's nice with the pork fat. Mix it up nicely with the broth on top. Get everything nice and wet. That's just the perfect wholesome meal right there. That rice just goes perfectly with the steamy, hot, spicy broth.
Did you know that there are several KIS students actively posting music on SoundCloud? That's one of the many things Jennifer and Sarah found out when they were behind the scenes to interview some of our school's best content creators. Let's see what else they discovered.
I wanted to focus more on doing yearbook, PTV, and Stuco work, the things that I sort of am confident in doing, which is creating media. I have these two main idols that I look up to, which are Casey Neistat and Justin Escalona. They both do daily content, and then I just thought it was a very nice work ethic where you have a goal at the end of each day to produce something by the end of the night. When I first began my channel, I created travel vlogs, like It started off with me going to Singapore with my family, and then that was just it was just a way of documenting my vacation. And then that happened more often when I would go to Kapyeong with my friends, and then also on school trips. But then after I submitted my early applications, I thought, oh, since now I have more time on my hand, why not just utilize my assets and then just make a daily vlog, which I want to look back onto when I go to college or later on in the future. I don't think there's a channel in YouTube that does high school daily vlogs. Moreover, I don't think there's anybody that does international school vlogs. So in that way, I think it's really special, and also KS students past and present and future can look onto my channel, my videos, and sort of have a relation. So I think that's something that differentiates me.
What inspired me to do it was I started off by uploading a video of me singing on my Finsta, and a lot of my friends encouraged me to create a SoundCloud. So after thinking, I just decided to upload some of them. Some challenges or setbacks is, for me, I have a hard time choosing what songs I want to record, because sometimes I want to balance out the ones I record in Korean and the ones I do in English, and also songs that people would like to listen to. That's a real dilemma for me, while I also want to put my interest out there. Something that differentiates my channel, I guess one thing would be that I play my ukulele in the background. I use that as the instrumental track for most of my covers, so that would be one unique thing, since I don't take the track used by the artists themselves. Working with a musician like Charles, it's really different, because the ones before, I would simply take a song that someone else made and it would be professional, but Charles is more unique. It has his own style. I could ask him what certain lyrics meant, though I didn't. I could get help on understanding what the music was about, and also we could both talk about what to improve on and what to change, like what beats to add, those kind of things. Sometimes my friends would ask me to record a certain song, in like any kind of song that they like, and sometimes I would upload on my Finsta to ask for suggestions, and then some of them, if I liked them, I would use them and upload them to my SoundCloud so that my friends can listen.
On SoundCloud, on Spotify, on Apple Music, places like that, I share music online, and sometimes I make my own songs and sometimes I produce for other artists. I think I always wanted to make music when I was younger as well, and I think growing up I realized that this is something I could do alone with the technology I was given, and it's not something that you need a really professional studio for anymore, and you can really do it just on your own computer at home. And I think that's one thing that's really beautiful about the advent of technology in this age, is that we have great access to things like microphones and like audio workstations, things like that, that we originally would have needed really expensive recording studios for, but we don't anymore. One of the things I already mentioned was the fact that I have to balance this with schoolwork, and sometimes that's really hard to do, and sometimes I have to make sacrifices to either the music or the schoolwork to get it done. And another challenge, I think, is finding collaborators, because oftentimes there's a limited number of people at especially KIS that can that are vocalists or performers, and I think that finding collaborators maybe outside of school even is something that is a difficulty for me. So if you can rap, please hit me up.
Vaping. It's an important and convoluted subject, but proper discussions about it in KIS are few and far between. Why do students choose to vape? What do they think of it? And how much should we be concerned about vaping? Max Yoon has a story that hopes to offer a balanced view on such a vexing topic.
Logically, just breathing in something that's not air into like your lungs seems pretty bad.
It's not just here at KS. It really is something that is affecting our schools and students worldwide.
Vaping is the next big thing, and it's taking the world by storm. Starting in the US, e-cigarette substitutes have become an epidemic, with teens anywhere from middle school to high school partaking in the new fad.
Sleek, sweet, and socially acceptable.
The most popular by far is Juul. Tiny USB-like devices with small pods that contain the same amount of nicotine as a whole pack of cigarettes. Why exactly do kids vape?
feel like people start because of the reputation of what smoking is. If you watch like movies from like the 80s and 90s, they kind of like represent smoke like a cool guy, the jock, the most popular kid that smokes. I think the reputation itself is kind of what, because students want to look cool and want to portray an image, and since like cigarettes give off that image, I think that's why people do start.
E-cigarettes are new and they're trendy, and we as administration are trying to understand more deeply what is happening and why students are choosing to take such just unfamiliar roads.
Who among the student body would you say vapes the most?
I feel like it's generally the guys who vape. I don't know a lot of girls at our school that do.
Girls? I know a couple, but it's more popular around guys.
Though there have been many reports of vaping becoming a problem in younger generations, like middle school or even elementary, it appears that for the majority, the interest begins
around junior year, because I mean, it kind of makes sense. It gets very hard. Workload, like that's when they start taking like multiple APs, and that's when they have to like finish SATs and stuff.
Despite being in direct violation of the Student Code of Conduct here at KIS, there exists a large underground network that supplies and nurtures the vaping culture in our school.
Some people like let others borrow it, but then that's not the majority.
So a lot of kids are worried about getting caught. They try to find a really safe place that students or the teachers doesn't really like come in. For example, they try to find like a bathroom that's like a place where it's not common.
Due to the growing number of violations, conversations regarding the vaping problem are popping up all around campus. One class had the opportunity to learn more about the long-term effects of vaping from a pulmonologist.
This doctor, Justin Kim's father, Dr. Kim, came and had a Skype call interview with us, and he went over a couple of points.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
And we learned that like nicotine was a carcinogen, and it's the like addictive factor in cigarettes and in vaping products.
But vaping also contains the nicotine and other irritant materials, so both of them are more harm than good.
And we know that these vaping products are not necessarily a lot better for us than cigarettes are, and that they're both really harmful to our students.
Dr. Kim went on to explain several signs and symptoms that could signal that a student could possibly be vaping.
The dry mouth. Dry mouth. Sore throat. Okay, and thirsty. Feel thirsty. So dry mouth, sore throat, and thirsty is the main symptom. And sometimes allergic reaction to allergic pruritus, itching and bronchitis, coughing.
After their conversations, the students shared their views on student vaping.
I think there's two sides to this. I guess he touched on how at first when we start, like we get addicted to like chemicals inside like nicotine, and there's the other side of the coin would be even if we try to quit, like the common methods like nicotine gum or nicotine patches, it would be like, even with that it will be almost near impossible to quit. And the fact that severe cases of like withdrawal can lead to depression or of having like kind of skin diseases where you kind of skin gets itchy.
그 무니코틴 그 액상 같은 것도 있잖아요.
네. 난 니코틴.
네. 그런 것도 이렇게 몸에 안 좋거나 그런 게.
그거는 그러나 그게 이제 나이코틴이 안 들어갔기 때문에 그거보다는 덜 하지만 거기에 들어가는 여러 컨텐츠 있잖아. 그 아까 말한 프로필렌 글라이콜이나 베지점션 이런 것들도 그게 이제 첨가물이기 때문에 그 자체가 이리턴트 할 수가 있어서 안 좋다고 하죠.
Do students think about the health issues that could arise from vaping?
Because it's only been out for popularized for a couple of years, so nobody really has an answer on like what the long-term consequences is. But everyone can agree that it's worse than just breathing normal air because you're injecting chemical into your body.
Nicotine is really addictive. So where can one go for help?
If you go to like convenience store, there's like numbers that are saying that they're willing to help out if you're addicted and stuff like that.
I think it's important that like they're well informed about what they're actually like starting, because once you start vaping or smoking, it's really hard to quit. And a lot of kids, like Dr. Kim said, it's like they start because of a trend and like they want to follow that trend, but as they actually like start becoming addicted, it gets a lot more serious, and like the long-term effect of like smoking can be like cancer and like bronchitis.
I don't think our parents are really educated on all of this. Just explore and read and educate and understand what you are allowing your students to do, your child to do. And a lot of parents are just unaware. They don't even know their kids are doing it.
You are an actual smoker, like an actual cigarette, it's better to move on to that, but then not the other way around. Like if you're not a smoker, you shouldn't get started in vaping.
It's shocking to see how our students are taking to it, because our students are resilient and smart and savvy, but yet they're falling for the trap that they see in the media and in the news, and it's mind-boggling to see that students would risk their health and their well-being, but then even more mind-boggling that they would do that on campus.
Dear younger me, if I had known back then what I know now. Reflections of senior students on their choices, lifestyles, highs and lows at KIS. We can start.
Okay. Is everything rolling?
Yep.
If I were to reflect on my junior year, I remember it being the worst. In my junior year, I struggled to get along with my friends and family. I always felt miserable and lonely all the time, inside and outside of school. My relationship with my friends got worse since I didn't take the classes with them. I remember the first time I spoke to my dad about my sorrows and how I wanted to die rather than live. I told him that I always eat alone in school and I always feel like an outsider in class. That day was the first day seeing my dad cry. I always felt awkward with my dad, and I never told him anything personal, so it was quite a new experience for me. I guess, yeah, when you have a new school year, like it's natural that your old friends aren't in the same classes as you, but like I don't think that should be an excuse to not make new friends. Just because you're in an environment that you're not used to doesn't mean you should sort of be by yourself, because there are people around you so that they can help you and you can help them. And yeah, I mean, I would have reached out to other people first, saying, oh hey, what's your name? I'm Elliot. Introduce yourself to them, and who knows, like a complete stranger can be your best friend for the rest of your life. Yeah, and also talking with your parents about that kind of situation is also sort of, it's brave, because like I know a lot of people that won't even talk about anything that happens at school with their parents. So for this person, like props to you. Like you did something that not a lot of people can do, and it's great to build a relationship with your parents so that you can talk freely, whether it be something good, something bad, just so you have another extra person that you can talk with and just have, I guess, a good friend, because your parents are always going to be there for you. Yeah.
Develop great skill in seeking fun in any situation. Sometimes what you say no to is the door to something new and exciting. You never know, and that is something your subconscious needs to realize. Build your fluid intelligence in any way possible. and grow more both physically and mentally. You're still 16 years old and you have a long way to go until you reach the top of your imagination. I guess something I would want to say to like any like underclassmen or like to like my younger self would be definitely that, yeah, like taking up any like new opportunities is like a really great experience. It can be really kind of difficult and daunting at first, but then once you take it on and you find that maybe it's not for you or maybe that is for you, but then whenever anyone does like anything for the first time, it's always really scary, but at the same time really thrilling once you get into it. I guess for me that was definitely like MUN, because in like before I came into high school I was more of a like shy, timid character and public speaking wasn't really my strong point. But then someone convinced me that, oh, MUN is like, it's not like a debate environment where everyone's like fighting each other, but it's more about like getting along. And these were like when I was a freshman, they were seniors who encouraged me and they were really helpful. They became like mentor figures to me. And so I think like through MUN, like my first conference, I didn't speak at all. I think I spoke like twice over the course of 3 days. And it was really terrible. I felt awful about it. But then my upperclassmen were really encouraging. They said like, oh no, just go to the next conference and you feel much more comfortable. So I went again, and then by then I kind of like got rid of all my nerves. And I realized that, oh, it really is just like a friendly environment. It's not a debate, it's more of like a discussion with your friends. And so through that, I've done it for 4 years now, and like you get to travel across the different countries, meet new people, and I've like established so many relationships with people across the world that I still keep in touch with today, and it's a really valuable experience. You get to learn about other cultures. So I think taking new chances is really something that is scary and it's very daunting, but it's definitely worth the risk, and I think everyone should try it out.
This has been Phoenix Magazine, our quarterly in-depth look on relevant topics. If you have any suggestions about what topic and or events we should cover, please contact a PTV member or Ms. Ramsey. Until next time, this was Sarah Yang.